911 emergency.
Last night's Sapphire Club shooting is the latest in a long line of bar and club shootings. The police are out looking for the shooters. The incident took place in the parking lot, and the 3 occupants of a black Range Rover were the victims. One was killed, the other injured, both young Asian men. The shooters were able to escape in their vehicles. The driver of the Range Rover is collaborating with investigators.
He is cooperating with us and assisting us in every way he can.
The following day, 2 men, Zeus Vegas and Brian Baker, went to the police. Vega confessed to shooting in self-defense, and Baker, his friend, claims he was just an eyewitness. After the police reviewed the parking lot surveillance tape and heard other witnesses, both were arrested and charged with first-degree murder. They have been released on bail pending trial. This is Jake Ramada for Channel 13 Action News.
Where's Brian? Zeus, where's Brian? Where? Oh, behind you. Listen really carefully to this, because this is what your defense is about. It's the defendant Vegas' position that when the Range Rover returned to the parking lot and drove toward the defendants in the manner in which it did, window down, high rate of speed, quick stop, weapons in view. A reasonable person in the defendant's position, considering the totality of the circumstances known to and believed by him, would believe that they were in danger of imminent death or great bodily harm.
We are saying that they were the aggressors. They placed us in a reasonable fear of great bodily harm or death. The state's position is going to be, I assume, that these guys were not the aggressors.
This is industrial, going, what, north, south, right?
This would be north.
South, okay. Okay, terrible with directions. So, when you got, and there's only one way in and out of this parking lot?
No, there's 2.
This one?
This is the light.
This one.
And there's one down here. Okay.
This is the light.
So what happened is the Range Rover was going out. They're coming this way. Now our 2 defendants plus a girl are leaving Sapphires. They're walking towards their car like this. They came this way, and we've got video surveillance of the parking lot, and they look to be more in the middle. I would put them dead center, to be quite honest.
They're basically in the way.
They're in the way of the Range Rover.
They're looking
okay.
for trouble.
I don't know if they're looking for trouble, but they're in the way of the Range Rover.
Clearly,
the defendants probably perceive it like this car's running us over, and the car perceives it like these people aren't moving out of our way. They're in our way. I think the words that were exchanged were like, "Get the fuck out of our way," or something along those lines. Wait, I might do that too. It annoys me when I'm driving down a lane and people don't get out of your way when they see a car coming. The Range Rover was going out, basically. So they're over here waiting for the light. There's a light here that you have to wait for. You can't just exit right away. They say one of the 2 defendants wave them back, like, come on back kind of thing. So they say they're coming back thinking they're going to go to a fist fight.
So they were calling them out, basically.
Basically. So they come back, and as they're coming back now, they roll up and they get shot. So let me ask you this. So somebody exchanges words with you, and you know that they're coming back in their car. You're going to go get your gun and get ready, even
They
though...
said, I'm going to come kill you, I'm going to.
Okay, but we don't know that that was said.
Speaking outside the box.
Right.
If I think my life is threatened,
Right.
based on training where your gun is,
Right.
you know, get your gun out. You're not going to stand up so your head can get shot.
Right.
Because you don't know what's going on. I'm going to tuck in so I don't get shot.
Right.
And be ready. I'm not going to stick myself out there to get hit. But
No, and that...
or you can come out
Right.
and stabilize yourself as well. I mean, I'm trying not to hurt your case, but I'm.
No.
You can hip shoot if you're moving quick. You can hip shoot. I don't think it's hip shooting because that's pretty good shooting.
Right.
Yeah,
So
we do have one that's trained, the Marine.
And that's the one who we think was the one doing the shooting.
Right.
No, this is what I'm getting at. This is not hurting our case. In my opinion, this is helping our case, because this tells me that you're not defending yourself. This tells me that he's lying in wait. He knows the car's coming back. He's already ready to shoot. Like, he's crouched down, ready to shoot the car. Like, he's ready to shoot where you think people are sitting in a car, not at your length, not at your height, way up here, but you're ready to shoot down here. So he's getting cover and he's ready to shoot when they haven't even gotten there yet. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know if this guy was defending himself or not. It's not for us to decide. It's for the jury to decide ultimately. I don't think he was, based on the little bit that I know and based on what the witnesses have testified to. It doesn't seem that he was.
The essential difference between self-defense that makes you not guilty of anything and voluntary manslaughter, which makes you guilty of killing this person, although it does not amount to murder, is the question of whether you were afraid or whether you were provoked.
When I saw that weapon, I froze up.
Well, you saw the weapon on the way out. That's why.
I wonder how they hit their guy.
But I know like I said, I froze up before because even Zeus said, I look over at Zeus and he said he looked at me and I was like, when they drove and they turned around to come back, I'm already thinking that gun's still in there.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm thinking like they're about to open fire on us.
When they pull up, I mean, I'm like busting out in cold sweat.
But people who are provoked, people who are provoked,
it's 90 degrees out there. How do you bust out in cold sweat?
People who are provoked and have rage go towards the problem. If you had rage, you would have ran at them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
If you're in fear, fear is retreating. What you did, it was like, Papa, I'm looking at Zeus like
Because of the smoke. Right?
Yeah, because of smoke. I thought Zeus got hit.
And also, it's 5:40 in the morning. It's dawn and it's misty.
They're walking right in the middle. They move over a little. One of the defendants, a hand goes up. I'm assuming that's an FU or like a, hey, what the fuck, or something. I don't know if it's the bird or just the hand, like, hey, what's your problem? See, but there's definitely something. Yeah, they're going to their cars.
See, he's running there, though.
You think so?
Oh, maybe. It looked like he was running, but maybe.
It's hard to tell because it's so far.
So they're out of the picture. Something's going on.
Yeah, see, they're here waiting for the light, is what we were told.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See that? So you know, here they come back because they said they were called back. You can't see, of course. Okay, here you go. Yeah, you do see a car door open, but you don't know if it's the front or the back. And now
I assume that was the front door.
the body falls right from the car right away. I think first shots are here in the deceased body because the deceased has a shot in his leg. So what I think is happening is he's coming out of the car, he gets shot in the leg, that's the first shot. He falls immediately, gets a couple more in his rear.
And then that's when these go. Play it one more time. Keep that in mind.
Whenever anybody is watching a movie or a television show, usually they're going to put themselves in the place of the protagonist. Okay, and that's exactly what we want them to do here. For us to win this case, we need to make every one of those jurors put themselves in your shoes at that moment. We've identified some things that we're concerned about, that we want to know how the jury responds to these issues. And we listed them up here, the ones that we came up with this morning, okay, and you can see what they are. Is there anything else? I mean, we found, you know, handguns, obviously. What are people's attitudes about the use of handguns? Mm-hmm. Have they ever fired a handgun? If they own a handgun, why? If they don't own a handgun, why? Military and law enforcement, I think, are going to be real important. One, because of your background in the Marine Corps, but also everybody in the military and everybody in law enforcement carries a gun. How old were you when you joined the Marine Corps?
I was 20.
20?
I graduated in 19 out of high school. I waited a year. I had to wait because I wanted to go in the summertime. Then I moved to Las Vegas. I got into real estate, and I'm a successful businessman. But I grew up poor. Mm-hmm. I mean, I go back to Cleveland, and it's like I see these small streets, and I live here, and it's like, wow, you know?
So, I don't know if we necessarily want to... We can say that we're...
No, what I'm saying is
we don't
the
want
jury...
successful.
Yeah,
Do you? No, we
Hell
want to say
yeah.
no.
Listen to me,
Yeah,
bro.
of course.
We're going to
I
let
don't know if they'll
them...
look at us in a bad way, like, oh, so you guys.
Oh, no. That's not going to happen.
I want them to know we're
No,
we're
Dominic's going to say it
working.
right. They don't call themselves
You
successful.
don't call yourself
We
successful.
call ourselves
We
successful.
paint you out
That's what I'm
to
saying.
be what you are, which is
No,
successful.
I understand
Okay,
that.
yeah.
I understand. I'm not going to say that. That's why I'm letting you talk. Go ahead, you call me successful.
Yeah, there you go.
Tell me.
We do have a racial issue here. We have two racial issues here. There's going to be biases against Hispanics. There's going to be biases against blacks. And it's something that we have to deal with. Strip clubs. Strip clubs are an issue in this case. Clearly, everything happened at a strip club. We're going to have some people on the jury that think that strip clubs are nothing more than a brick and mortar hell. I want to know if they've ever been afraid. Now, anybody who says that they haven't been afraid is lying.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but that's the essence of this case. We need to make every one of those jurors experience fear. Not that we're going to make them afraid. We need them to put themselves in your shoes at that moment. You have to trust these people. They have your life in their hands. This is battle, and it's the worst possible kind for stress, because in a real battle, sooner or later, you're going to have some physical contact, and the stress is going to leave you. Here, there's no physical outlet. Have you been going to the gym at all? Have you had time? Probably
yeah.
not. You have been?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cold today.
Okay.
Bye, have a good one.
You need to work on your spelling.
She's the Terminator. Prosecutor.
I'm the quiet assassin. I'm the low-key one.
It's always the quiet ones you gotta worry about. The quiet ones are the dangerous ones. Because they just come and get you out of nowhere, right, Danae? I like to be, what's that word? I like to be underestimated. Because when you're underestimated, when you're underestimated, people don't have great expectations about you, and then all of a sudden you just come and get them when they don't expect it. I like that. This is State of Nevada versus Vega and Baker.
At this time, it's the state's opportunity to make their opening statement.
Good morning, Your Honor, counsel, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Premeditated, deliberate, willful murder. This is what we expect the evidence to show. A night, a day of partying. July 23rd of 2005. Amir Mogadam, his friend Wei Lu, and Christian all were together. The Land Rover is driving back down the lane. Any excessive speed, just driving. Door opens. Wei Lu is immediately shot 2 times. That's what the evidence is going to show. We are not in any type of situation where this should have happened. These individuals had plenty of time to leave there. That is what the state expects to show and expects to prove in this actual case. You guys are aware that there was a videotape. And I'll ask Ms. Lewis if we can just key it up and play it right now. And this is a tape from the Sapphires, the parking lot, 3025 Industrial. think we can turn the lights up. Thank you.
Mr. Gentile?
Thank you. On July the 23rd, 2005, at about 5:30 or 5:40, somewhere in there, Zeus Vegas put a bullet through the chest of Wei Lu. Wei Lu died from that bullet. That's called a homicide. All homicides are not illegal, and this one wasn't. Mr. Vega is going to tell you that Mr. Baker said to him, words to the effect, that he saw somebody in the passenger seat, front seat, with a gun. At the end of the case, the question that you're going to be facing is, was what Zeus Vega did here done in response to his fear? And you will have to judge from the facts as you hear them whether a reasonable person would be afraid. And at the end of the case, you're going to have to say, if he didn't have a gun, who'd be dead?
I love Vegas, man. It brings so much opportunity for people that didn't know what opportunity was. I didn't come to Vegas to gamble. Real estate was really big. It was starting to grow, and I saw that happening, and I wanted to be a part of it. I was a businessman by day, entertainer by night. I was a dancer at Olympic Gardens. You have to have confidence where I grew up. If not, you're gonna get stepped on, picked on, you know. So it's just growing up in the streets, man. It's just the way it is. This is a 24-hour town, so it's easier to get in trouble here because, you know, in for example, like Cleveland, you know, you could only get in trouble till 1:30. Here, you got till 5 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes people don't even go to sleep after that. And then you got after hours that start from 3 to noon. So I've been waiting for this trial for 1.5 years. I'm nervous, I'm overwhelmed, but I'm excited that we're finally moving forward.
Mogadam, in my opinion, is absolutely the man who was responsible for the death of this Wang Louis. Willie Wonka.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, well, hey, you know, I wouldn't laugh at this if these guys didn't deserve it. But man, they absolutely asked for it. They lived a life. They lived a life that was even in their own mind designed for this kind of an end. Who's the aggressor? The aggressor's the guy that's driving the car. If Mogadam wasn't fucked up, he could have turned to these guys and said, look, that's crazy, let's just go. What are we doing here?
Jurors, that already?
Counsel, will you stipulate to the presence of the jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, at this time, State, please call your first witness.
The state calls Amir Mogadam.
Sir, if you could approach the witness stand.
Please state your name and spell it for the record.
Amir Mogadam, A-M-I-R, M-O-G-A-D-A-M.
Amir, did you know a person by the name of Wei Lu?
Yes, ma'am. He's my best friend.
And how long did you know Wei Lu?
Since I was 11 years old.
Okay. What about Christian Wang Louis?
He was good friends with Wei, and I was good friends with Christian's brother, Mino, who's in the Army, and we were out, you know, celebrating Christian's birthday that night.
Okay. Before you went out that night, what did you do earlier in the day?
Me and Wei went to the gym, and we played tennis. We played for, like, who's going to be the designated driver that night, you know? And it kind of sucks that I won, kind of, because I feel like maybe I would have been the one died, you know, if he would have won and kind of feel guilty a little bit about it.
So about 3:30, you got to Sapphire's.
Yes, ma'am.
And when you arrived there, what did you do?
You know, we all were having lap dances, but mostly I had a lap dance for Christian and Way the whole night.
And what happened when you left Sapphire's?
There was two guys in front of us that kind of like walked in front of, you know, our car as we were leaving. And middle fingers were flashed, you know.
Anybody say anything?
No, ma'am.
And so what happened then as you saw this?
I pulled to the light and we kind of looked back, whether we knew him or it was joking or whether go back and the worst thing, you know, we would fight him, you know.
And what did you see?
Brian Baker kind of motioning us back, you know, to come back.
And so then what did you do?
Backed up and drove towards them. I didn't see Jesus, you know, in this doorway, kind of perched. And I didn't even actually get the car in park yet. Wade took a step out and shots just started firing. I started ducking, and with me having to duck and look at the same time, my foot came off the brake. So the car started rolling forward, and my gut instinct is he thought we were all dead.
Okay, so did
That's
you...
why I think Christian's still alive, though.
Did
Because
you...
the car was moving.
Okay, so what did you do?
I just let the car roll as he's taking off, and then when he left, I hit the brakes and went back towards Way.
Okay, and you said when he left, who are you talking about?
Well, actually, when both of them left.
When you came back to Way's body, where did you see him?
Laying on his back on the ground, and Christian was holding his head like kind of on his lap and kind of on his knees.
And what did you do?
I ran over there and was just trying to help as much as I could, and then realized to call 911 right away.
Have you ever listened to a recording of that call?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Hello? Yo, this is shot my homie. Dude, send an ambulance. It's top fire gentleman's club. Top fire gentleman's club. They shot him in the chest.
Okay, let me get this call going. Hold on. Do you know the address there?
He's dying. Hey, what's the address? What's that?
Hi, we need an ambulance down to Sapphire Gentleman Club. What is going on exactly? They need to know.
We got a shooting in the parking lot.
A shooting in the parking lot. And then there's a man down. They need to know if you guys have anything else on the suspect.
Light escalate. Light escalate.
Which way did it go?
He went south on Industrial.
Jacko, is he still breathing?
He's unconscious.
He's unconscious right now. We have all the directors outside.
He's still breathing.
But he is still breathing.
Okay, we're on our way.
Amir, in this call that's playing right now, there's a voice in the background screaming. Is that your voice?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and did help come?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you do anything else in between that time?
Well, I just guided Christian because he was already there and to do mouth to mouth and what the person was telling us on the phone.
And did you get hurt that evening?
No, I got lucky.
Okay. Did you have any weapons in your car at any time?
No, ma'am.
Do you know whether Way was carrying any weapons?
Not to my knowledge, we never had to bring out weapons.
Okay. What about Christian? Do you know if he had any weapons?
Earlier that night, no, but now to the fact, yes.
Okay. Tell us what you know now that you didn't know earlier that night.
He had a knife.
Did you see what happened with that knife?
I didn't see what happened was he gave it to me and it wouldn't close. So I put it in my pocket and I threw it.
Where did you throw the knife?
On the street.
I'm going to go ahead and ask you to watch that video on the monitor, and I'm going to ask you some questions. Amir, let me know when you see anybody in the video that you recognize.
That's me and my friends right there.
Okay.
Well, I'm not in there yet.
Who's the first one that's way up ahead with the green and white jersey?
That's Way.
What's going on right here at this part of the video? What are you doing?
I'm walking, and I just seen Way throwing up and going towards the car. Yeah, we're getting in my car. I'm about to leave right now.
So is that your car now?
Yeah.
How many times have you watched this video?
This is the first time.
I'll pass the witness.
Cross-examination.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Did I understand you correctly to say, on direct examination, that you didn't see Brian Baker do anything at the time of the shooting?
I didn't see him going for anything. I didn't see him have nothing in his hand. No, I thought, that's why, I thought at worst we'd fight, because I didn't see Zeus Vegas.
So at the time you drove up, there was nothing in Mr. Baker's hands?
No, sir.
He was unarmed?
Yes, sir.
And that's when you had determined that it would be a fight?
Yes, sir. If at worst.
When were you discussing this potential boxing match?
Well, as you can see when we were driving out, they're kind of impeding our driving, They were kind of standing in front of the car, not really getting out of the way.
And so when they don't really get out of the way, is that when the boxing match gets discussed?
Well, that's when they flipped us off as well, so.
Now, you say they. Who flipped you off?
One or two, I'm driving a car at the same time, I noticed middle finger's coming and middle finger's going.
Who? Who was giving the middle finger?
The only people I witnessed was Brian Baker and Wei-Lu.
And is that when you discussed the boxing match?
No, when I was at the light, I discussed it.
So you actually leave the parking area?
No, I don't. I'm at the light, in the parking area.
Okay. And you claim he's waving you down?
Yeah, you can see it. Even in the short picture that I can see it.
You can see that?
Yeah.
When you came back, isn't it true you came at a much higher rate of speed than you left? Does that question make sense to you?
Yeah, it makes sense, but I don't know. I can't tell you that.
You couldn't see it by watching the video?
You want to play it again for me?
Were you in a hurry to get back to box?
Not really.
Just sort of a casual thing?
I'm not really sure.
Did all three of you agree? In other words, was Wei-Lu, Christian Wong-Wui, and you prepared to go back for a boxing match?
At worst.
At worst. Boxing fight with a knife?
I didn't have a knife.
Well, how about Christian Wong-Wui?
I guess he had a knife. Better a knife against a gun? I mean, which one's better?
Well, if I understood you correctly, you saw Brian Baker and he was unarmed. That's what you said, correct?
Yes, sir.
And so I guess what you're saying is better a knife against an unarmed man, right?
No, well, I didn't tell you when Christian had the knife out.
When did he have the knife out, sir?
You gotta ask him.
When did you see it, sir?
Next to Wei. On the ground, in between Wei and Christian.
The knife was open?
Yes, sir.
Did you pick it up or was it handed to you?
It was handed to me.
And that was because Christian Wong-Wui could not close it?
You gotta ask him why he handed it to me.
Did you ask him why he handed it to you?
No, I didn't. I was too concerned my best friend dead,
But you were real concerned about getting rid of that knife.
Yes, I was.
Yes?
Yes. Not denying that.
And you did that to dispose of relevant evidence, didn't you?
I did it to get it away from me.
Sir, when you first saw it, it wasn't near you, was it?
No, it wasn't on me.
You weren't holding it, correct?
No, I wasn't.
And so you became concerned that you would have a knife on you and you had to throw it away? Is that your testimony?
Well, you never know what could happen, you know what I mean? I don't want to get caught with a knife because I wasn't supposed to have a knife.
And that was because you were on probation for some type of an assault? Is that
yes,
right?
Sir.
In fact, isn't it true that you have 2 felony convictions within the last 10 years, sir?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure whether you have felony convictions or not?
No, I know I was convicted of felony for drugs, yes.
2 felonies for drugs,
for distribution, marijuana in a drug-free zone in Utah,
Your Honor, that concludes cross-examination for Mr. Baker.
Mr. Gentile?
Your Honor, I can commence, but I won't be finished.
Commence.
Okay. Mr. Mogadam, you said that you were not supposed to have a weapon because you were on probation.
Yes, sir.
And it was a condition, and you were on probation for assault and battery. Yes?
All I get is a quick answer, but I don't get a chance to defend myself, but yes.
and you were supposed to go to a drug rehab center. It was a condition of your probation, was it not?
No, it wasn't.
Have you seen the court order with respect to your probation?
What, to get anger management classes?
Yes.
Is that a rehab? No. I needed to go to anger management classes?
And you also had to go to a drug class.
No, that's not true.
If I may have a moment.
I just went to court for that, so I know what I'm talking about. So if you want to, whatever you're saying.
Rather than do that today, I'm going to ask what I can today, and I'll come back tomorrow with that.
I'm out of here tonight, then.
And among the things that you weren't supposed to be doing on July the 23rd of 2005 is drinking alcohol. You'd agree to that, wouldn't you?
I could drink alcohol whenever I want, unless they tell me I'm not supposed to.
Okay. You were taking 18 milligrams a day of Subutex, were you not?
8 milligrams a day, and I have a total hip replacement for the reason of taking it.
Sir, you were taking 8 milligrams twice a day, and 2 milligrams in addition, were you not?
8 milligrams once a day.
I have seen your prescription.
Okay, well, obviously not.
And the reason that you were on Subutex, sir, is that you were a heroin addict since you were 17 years old.
It's not true. I was hooked to pain medication when I was 18 years old for a hip replacement.
You took heroin as pain medication?
No, I'm trying to tell you. You're trying to tell me my life. I'm trying to tell you what I took.
So you're denying that you started taking heroin at 17 years old?
First time I tried heroin was when I was 18 years old.
Okay, I'm a year off. And you took it until April of 2005, did you not?
Okay, you want to know the truth? I stopped smoking heroin when I missed my son's birth, May 26, 1996. That's when I stopped smoking heroin.
And you never took heroin after that?
Never.
And from the time you were 14 till you were 17, you huffed gasoline and paint and whiteout.
Judge, I'm going to object as to relevance. We've gone on enough about this. It has nothing to do with July 23rd of 2005.
Sustained.
Do you recall writing on a notepad with respect to your life and your drug use?
Objection, foundation, and relevance.
The state gave it to us.
Can I see counsel in the hallway? Sir, you have to remain seated in your seat.
Okay.
You can't talk to anybody, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. You talk about huffing and paint sniffing or something, or gasoline huffing at age 14. That was way out of line.
Metro gave us this.
But it still has to be relevant to come in just because it's in the car.
Drug use and prolonged drug use.
At age 13?
Absolutely. It's been uninterrupted. That's his handwriting on this.
I would try to escape my lockup. But
you gave it to us.
Just because we doesn't mean it's relevant.
This whiteout? Can you huff whiteout?
This is basically this guy's life story in his own handwriting. Okay? Now, he just said that he stopped in 1996. In this document right here, it says he took it up till 3 months before he went into rehab.
Okay, well, that's pure impeachment.
So you'll let me go there?
Do that.
Okay. I'll do it tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to release you for the evening. During this overnight recess, you are admonished not to talk or converse among yourselves with anyone else on any subject connected with this trial. You're not to read, watch, or listen to any report of or commentary on the trial by any person connected with this case or any medium of information, including without limitation, newspaper, television, the internet, or radio. You're not to form or express any opinion on any subject connected with this trial until the case is finally submitted to you. 9:45. Here's the thing. You have to come back. You're subject to subpoena.
Can I postpone it 4 days and come back in 4 days?
We have to finish it tomorrow morning. You got to be here.
Okay.
But we're going to do you first until you're done.
Okay.
Okay?
Thanks a lot.
All right.
All right.
Records should reflect we're outside the presence of the jury.
Judge, we've got 3 different people in the car, and they want to argue that Amir Moghadam was an aggressor. Amir Moghadam never even got out of the car. Either Christian's an aggressor, Wei-Lu's an aggressor, and Amir's an aggressor. You can't say that Amir's an aggressor because Wei-Lu steps out of the car. Amir's an aggressor because the kid in the backseat's holding a knife.
Okay, the issue becomes who was driving the car that turned it around to, I mean, there's a whole issue whether that's an aggressive act in and of itself. I mean, I don't think you have to get out of the car to be an aggressor. You can turn around, you can use word, you can use deed, you can use...
But it's also a question of fact, and the witness has already testified he was called back by Brian Baker.
He's a liar! Don't you get it?
It's a question of fact, regardless of what Mr. Gentile believes, and the video will show that Brian Baker's hand goes up. So that tends to corroborate what he's saying. So if he's called back by Mr. Baker, he cannot be an aggressor. That's the point that I'm getting at.
And I disagree with you. I disagree with you. Quite frankly, which act is the more aggressive, the waving on or the coming back? You know, that's a question of fact. I mean, you'd like me to see it one way and they'd like me to see it the other. A jury may find that the driving back is more aggressive than as somebody saying, yeah, you know, in front of the girl that they're with. I don't know. That's their theory of the case. I'm not saying I agree with it. And if the jury believe him, I'm just going to check it out and see if I know him, then you know what? I agree with you. But you're believing your witness. Someone else might not. Someone else might think he turned around with a malignant heart.
We have a desensitized jury when it comes to weapons.
Correct.
Well, nobody who takes a gun in his hand and shoots it doesn't envision there being a bad guy on the other end of the bullet.
Exactly. And what's really hard for the jury to understand is that that was the only night that I ever brought the weapon with me.
You know, when Brian tells you that they have a gun, he doesn't even know that you have a gun in the backseat of your car.
Of course not. But the thing is how lucky am I that I did bring it to that specific place.
Yeah.
And I needed it that night.
Yep.
God was with me.
I'm trying to reach Amir Mohaddam. He's one of our witnesses, and I think he was admitted this morning. Is there a possibility I could talk to Amir? He's unconscious? Sedated? Okay.
Ready.
Amir Mohaddam has been admitted to the hospital, and he's unavailable to be here today. I actually followed it up. I called the hospital, spoke with the charge nurse and certain personnel that indicated that he's still there.
Okay. My perception of yesterday afternoon was he was not happy about having to stay today. I would hate to have to declare a mistrial in this case because I can't get the witness back. I can't have just the state's evidence and no cross-examination. I mean, that can't happen. So if you know family members that can get in contact with him and encourage him to stay in town to finish this up, great. State, call your next witness.
The state calls Dr. Sim.
Sir, if you'd approach the witness stand.
Dr. Sims, did you have an occasion to perform an autopsy on a person by the name of Wei Lu on July 24th of 2005?
Correct.
And did you have an occasion to perform an external examination of Wei Lu?
Yes, he had several gunshot wounds.
Did you have an opinion as to the cause of death?
It was a gunshot wound to the chest.
And the manner of death?
Homicide.
Pass the witness.
Cross-examination. Mr. Gentile?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
Doctor, you said that the wound to the chest went basically through the aorta.
Correct.
And then it actually had an exit. It went out the middle of the back.
Correct.
And so the bullet exited just at about the spine.
It exited actually in the chest right next to the spine, and it came out right in the central low backs.
Okay. Now, when the aorta is hit, you bleed fast, don't you?
Yes, you lose a significant amount of blood in just over a period of 20 or 30 seconds.
Okay. And what I am showing you, you refer to it as an incision of the left hand.
Incised wound?
An incised wound. That appears, would you touch your magic screen over there and show us what you're talking about? Okay. That did not have a lot of blood there.
Yes, if you look at the edges of the wound, there's some drying change, but there's not a lot of hemorrhage in the edges of the wound.
Would that indicate to you that that wound most likely occurred after this person's, or right at about the time that the person's blood pressure had dropped?
Correct. So it may have occurred right at the time of death or after death or just slightly before death. That would be the best I could do as far as a time frame goes. Yeah.
I want to show you Exhibit 9B.
Is 9B consistent with an incised wound such as what we're looking at?
Definitely.
And so if somebody, Mr. Wei Lu specifically, had 9B in his right hand, was shot and fell forward, and the knife hit his left hand where that incised wound is, and he slid forward, that would explain not only the wound on the wrist, but also the abrasions on the back of the hand.
That scenario would work with that, yes.
I don't have anything further.
Thank you very much for your testimony, sir. You're excused.
The state calls Christian Wang Wui.
Mr. Wang Wui, if you could approach the witness stand up here, sir. Right up here. Once you're at the witness stand, while you're still standing, could you face my clerk, raise your right hand, and be sworn?
Do you do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Please be seated.
Mr. Wang Wui, you remember what you had to drink when you were inside of Sapphire's?
No, ma'am.
Pardon me?
No.
Okay. Does anything happen when you walk out the Sapphire door?
I throw up.
Does anything happen on the way to the car?
No, ma'am.
And you guys get inside the car?
Yes. Amir's driving. Wei Lu's sitting front passenger, and I'm sitting right behind Wei. We're exiting. I remember seeing Mike Baker and Jesus Vegas and a woman with them.
Had you ever seen any of these three individuals before?
No, ma'am.
And you said at some point you saw them waving you back. Is that correct?
Yes, I seen Mr. Barker here waving us to come back. We turn around and start heading towards their direction. We pull up, and then shots just start going off.
What exactly did you see?
I seen them put out a gun and just start shooting.
Okay. And did you see both of them?
Yes.
Did you remember seeing Amir or Wei doing anything inside the car prior to that shooting?
No.
Did you have any weapons with you at that point?
Yes, ma'am.
And what, if any?
I had a knife. It was in my left hand.
Okay. Did you open it while you were inside the car?
No, ma'am.
Did you ever open it?
No.
Now, when these shots rang out, what's the next thing that happened?
I tell Amir to leave.
And does he start driving?
No.
What happens?
He tells me, wait.
Can I approach the witness, please?
He says he can't leave because Wei's out the car.
So what does he do?
He takes his foot off the brake so he could slouch down more. I remember looking back as shots were still being fired, and I see him Wei on the ground.
Did you ever see your knife again?
Yes, it was laying next to Wei's body, open. I handed it to Amir.
Do you know what happened to it after you handed it to Amir?
No.
I passed the witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Arme, cross-examination.
Yes, sir. You were attempting to get out of the vehicle with your knife in your left hand, correct?
Not correct.
Was the knife blade open or closed?
It was closed.
And at some point you noticed that the knife is now open. At some point, right?
Yes.
Have you ever just seen it open on its own?
No.
Did you see your knife drop out of your hand?
I didn't see it drop out of my hand, no.
You had taken cover, But you were still able to see cartridges coming out of the guns?
Yes. When I turned around and looked where Way was at, yes.
What gun did you see cartridges coming out of? Mr. Vega or Mr. Baker?
Out of Jesus' gun.
How about Mr. Baker's? Did you see cartridges coming out of his gun?
No. I ain't keep my head up for that long, sir. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't either if you have gunshots and glass flying everywhere.
Permission to approach you. I'm going to be showing him his statement at the very bottom of page 14, top of page 15. Sir, I'm showing you what purports to be a transcript of your recorded statement to the police, and we'll start off by showing you, does that appear to be a statement given by you on July 23rd, 05?
Yes.
I'm going to ask you to read to yourself the very bottom question and answer on page 14 and the top question and answer on page 15, and let me know when you're done.
All right.
Does that refresh your memory as to you telling the police that you saw casings coming out of Mr. Baker's gun?
I might have mistaken it for Jesus.
But that's what you were telling the police. You just may have made a mistake. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I'm asking you, as you sit here today, are you telling the ladies and gentlemen of the jury you're not sure whether or not you saw casings coming out of a gun held by Mr. Baker?
I didn't see shell casings coming out of a gun from Mr. Baker.
Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Baker, that concludes cross-examination.
Mr. Gentile, cross-examination.
Mr. Wong Wui, did Wei Lu say that someone flipped them off?
Yes.
But you did not see it yourself. We can agree to that?
Yes.
You weren't the one who made the decision to back up and go back. Am I right?
Correct.
That was Mr. Mogadam's decision, wasn't it?
Yes.
Can I have exhibit number 9, please? Is this your knife?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your testimony. You're excused.
I don't have any doubt in my mind now that Wei Lu got out of the vehicle with the knife. I think the physical evidence points to that. You know, and I can see where you misperceived it. The Land Rover passes you the first time. You don't even look in it. Brian tells you that they got a gun. You've already got it in your mind to see a gun. So anything that is being held in the hand by an aggressor for a split second is going to be a gun to you. You know, and I think you got to tell the truth. I thought he had a gun. Okay. Turned out he had a knife. I thought he had a gun.
That's what I saw.
Yeah. But I think you got to acknowledge right now that maybe it wasn't.
State, call your next witness.
They call Susan Liu. May I proceed, Your Honor?
Yes.
Miss Liu, are you familiar with Wei Lu?
Yes.
And how did you know? Did you
He's
know
my
Wei
brother.
Lu? And do you remember your brother's birthday?
March 27, 1975.
Miss Liu, besides yourself and your brother, any more siblings?
No.
Did you have an occasion to find out back in July 23rd of 05 that your brother had been killed?
Yes, I did.
I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Proposed Exhibit 166. Are you familiar with who's depicted in that photograph?
Yes.
And Miss Liu, who's depicted in that photograph?
My brother.
And do you remember when that was taken about?
It was New Year's of 98. He had gone to Key West and he had just finished skydiving.
Okay. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
How are you?
Good.
I'm hearing great things about you guys. Oh my God, I can't get over it.
Is this your client, Dominique?
Probably true. Over there.
Oh, good-looking client. Yeah. Our clients don't look like that, God damn it.
Oh, yeah. In fact, when was the last time you had a client that was in the Marines that has no previous record?
Yeah.
Damn, he's...
Who's out on bail on a murder.
I know. Can we borrow him to play the part of our client in my next case?
Jesus. That was all show. Let's put somebody on Friday to make the jury feel badly for the victim.
I'm just glad that part's over. I'm just glad that part's over.
when this sister was up there crying, the jury's like,
yeah. Is that what you got?
Man, your head was down, so you didn't see the jury.
You love this guy.
Yes.
Why didn't you do something in his
The
wife?
jury didn't care at all. She was crying. Nobody in the jury even. They were just sitting there like, this is all part of the act. It's your brother. Yeah. They're just sitting there like.
Yeah, it was. They're arguing.
Did you hear today? You know what? If it wasn't Christmas, we'd never keep her up there. Did you hear that?
When she was sick today?
Yeah. We can keep
I
her
did.
up.
I was listening.
No matter what. She's doing it. I feel bad that she has to relive this situation. That's the only thing I had. That's why I kept my head down. It's not, there's not, no reason for me to be looking up.
I felt sorry until you know what I thought about.
Well,
cheers.
To the first week. This was the first week. It wasn't bad.
That lady's where it's at.
You understand that if we lose, you're going to spend your life in prison?
I guess so.
So when you see a gun, you know you're seeing a gun. There's no question.
That's what I'm trained for.
But Mr. Baker is like, because you know what? There is no imminent fear.
He saved that man's life.
Come on, Mr. Marine, Mr. America. You decide that you can't even call the police regarding this situation? Because you did something wrong.
C'est l'histoire d'un Français